Sahih al-Bukhari 413. Narrated Anas bin Malik. The Prophet said, "A faithful believer while in prayer is speaking in private to his Lord, so he should neither spit in front of him nor to his right side, but he could spit either on his left or under his foot." Sahih al-Bukhari 426. Narrated Aisha. The Prophet used to start everything from the right, for good things, whenever it was possible in all his affairs, for example, in washing, combing or wearing shoes. Sahih al-Bukhari 427. Narrated Aisha. Habiba and Salama mentioned about a church they had seen in Ethiopia in which there were pictures. They told the Prophet about it, on which he said, if any religious man dies amongst those people, they would build a place of worship at his grave and make these pictures in it. They will be the worst creature in the sight of Allah on the day of resurrection. Sahih al-Bukhari 428. Narrated Anas. When the Prophet arrived Medina, he dismounted at a wali Medina amongst a tribe called Banu Amr bin Auf. He stayed there for 14 nights. Then he sent for Bani and Najjar, and they came armed with their swords. As if I am looking, just now, as the Prophet was sitting over his rahila, mount, with Abu Bakr riding behind him and all Banu and Najjar around him till he dismounted at the courtyard of Abu Ayyub's house. The Prophet loved to pray wherever the time for the prayer was due, even at sheepfolds. Later on he ordered that a mosque should be built and sent for some people of Banu and Najjar and said, "O Banu and Najjar, suggest to me the price of this walled piece of land of yours." They replied, "No. By Allah, we do not demand its price except from Allah." Anas added, there were graves of pagans in it and some of it was unleveled and there were some date palm trees in it. The Prophet ordered that the graves of the pagans be dug out and the unleveled land be level-led and the date palm trees be cut down. So all that was done. They aligned these cut date palm trees towards the Qibla of the mosque, as a wall, and they also built 2 stone side walls of the mosque. His companions brought the stones while reciting some poetic verses. The Prophet was with them and he kept on saying, "There is no goodness except that of the hereafter, O Allah. So please forgive the Ansars and the emigrants." Sahih al-Bukhari 429. Narrated Abu al-Tayya. Anas said, the Prophet prayed in the sheepfold. Later on I heard him saying, he prayed in the sheepfolds before the construction of the mosque. Sahih al-Bukhari 430. Narrated Nafi. I saw Ibn Umar praying while taking his camel as a sutra in front of him and he said, I saw the Prophet doing the same. Sahih al-Bukhari 431. Narrated Abdullah bin Abbas. The sun eclipsed and Allah's messenger offered the eclipse prayer and said, I have been shown the hellfire now, and I never saw a worse and horrible sight than the sight I have seen today. Sahih al-Bukhari 432. Narrated Ibn Umar. The Prophet had said, offer some of your prayers, nawafil, at home, and do not take your houses as graves. Sahih al-Bukhari 433. Narrated Abdullah bin Umar. Allah's messenger said, do not enter the places of these people where Allah's punishment had fallen unless you do so weeping. If you do not weep, do not enter the places of these people, because Allah's curse and punishment which fell upon them may fall upon you. Sahih al-Bukhari 434. Narrated Aisha. Salama told Allah's messenger about a church which she had seen in Ethiopia and which was called Maria. She told him about the pictures which she had seen in it. Allah's messenger said, if any righteous pious man dies amongst them, they would build a place of worship at his grave and make these pictures in it. They are the worst creatures in the sight of Allah. Sahih al-Bukhari 435, 436. Narrated Aisha and Abdullah bin Abbas. When the last moment of the life of Allah's messenger came, he started putting his kamisa on his face, and when he felt hot and short of breath, he took it off his face and said, may Allah curse the Jews and Christians, for they built the places of worship at the graves of their prophets. The Prophet was warning Muslims of what those had done. Sahih al-Bukhari 437. Narrated Abu Hurairah. Allah's messenger said, may Allah's curse be on the Jews, for they built the places of worship at the graves of their prophets. Sahih al-Bukhari 438. Narrated Jabir bin Abdullah. Allah's Messenger said, I have been given 5 things which were not given to any amongst the prophets before me. These are, -1. Allah made me victorious by his frightening my enemies, for a distance of 1 month's journey. -2. The earth has been made for me, and for my followers, a place for praying and a thing to perform tayammum. Therefore my followers can pray wherever the time of a prayer is due. -3. The booty has been made halal, lawful, for me, and was not made so for anyone else. -4. Every prophet used to be sent to his nation exclusively, but I have been sent to all mankind. -5. I have been given the right of intercession on the day of resurrection. Sahih al-Bukhari 439. Narrated Aisha. There was a black slave girl belonging to an Arab tribe, and they manumitted her, but she remained with them. The slave girl said, once one of their girls, of that tribe, came out wearing a red leather scarf decorated with precious stones. It fell from her, or she placed it somewhere. A kite passed by that place, saw it lying there, and mistaking it for a piece of meat, flew away with it. Those people searched for it, but they did not find it. So they accused me of stealing it and started searching me, and even searched my private parts. The slave girl further said, by Allah, while I was standing, in that state, with those people, the same kite passed by them and dropped the red scarf, and it fell amongst them. I told them, this is what you accused me of, and I was innocent, and now this is it. Aisha added, that slave girl came to Allah's Messenger, and embraced Islam. She had a tent or a small room with a low roof in the mosque. Whenever she called on me, she had a talk with me, and whenever she sat with me, she would recite the following: the day of the scarf, band, was one of the wonders of our Lord. Verily he rescued me from the disbelievers' town. Aisha added, once I asked her, what is the matter with you? Whenever you sit with me, you always recite these poetic verses. On that she told me the whole story.